What's up, everybody? This is Stevie from Drowning Pool with words of wisdom. Life is short. You got to keep it fucking evil.
One finger and a fist. I'll claw my way out of any situation. I got a 1-2 punch. I'll fight my way out of any confrontation.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Stevie from Drowning Pool. Out here in New York City, rocking out Urban Plaza. Big sold-out rock show tonight. It's gonna be beer, sweat, and bodily fluid all over everybody. It's gonna be a good time.
Do you still remember the first time you guys played in New York, and when was that and where?
First time we ever played in New York, it was maybe late 1999, early 2000. Just a little bit before we got in a record deal. We got in a van, this crappy van, and drove from Dallas almost overnight all the way into New York and played CBGB's. It was us and Mudvayne, both of us before we had our first records out. So just both bands and tiny little CBGBs. It was just a surreal experience. Our first time in New York, just like kids in Wonderland. It was just greatest time of my life. Such a blast.
And let's talk about the journey of Drowning Pool ever since, man, because obviously it's been a very roller coaster ride for you guys, both good and bad things. So let's talk about, the history of the band.
Yeah, absolutely. After those early good times, with Dave, we pretty much came out of the box and Bodies blew up and was such a huge successful single. That whole first record, just was everywhere just so quickly. And then the tragedy, while we were on our second Ozfest, Dave had cardiomyopathy, and it's like a bad ventricle in your heart that you never know you have until just one day you're dead from it, unfortunately. From there, we been through a couple of singers, but could never quite recapture that chemistry that we once had. So this time around, we decided to go with a guy that we'd known from back in the day when we first started out with clubs, with Dave, Drowning Pool, and Jasen Moreno, our new singer. His band, we used to do shows together all the time, so we knew the guy really well, knew what a talented guy he was, and we just basically, wanted no more surprises with any type of personality conflict or anything like that. We wanted to do that, wasn't gonna change on us overnight. A guy that we'd been around and hung around so much, and just a true, what you see is what you get kind of guy. So we're extremely fortunate now that it worked out that he could be in the band. And so far we had a great tour. We made a great record. I had a great time doing it. So, it's nothing but good times right now. I know we've had a lot of down times, but I just hope these good times can maybe for once, maybe really last for a while.
How was the vibe in the studio for you guys, and who were you working with?
Right, the new record Resilience comes out April 9th. We recorded it over in New Jersey at the House of Loud studio with a guy named Kato Kwandala. Super great producer, most laid back, funny guy that you'd ever want to work with. He pretty much, just from being such a sarcastic smartass, he's able to just take any tension out of the room that might come up from the recording process. It's just one laugh after another. We started writing songs with Jasen and didn't tell him for a long time that he had the gig. We wanted him to just stay focused on, we didn't want his hard work to stop. We wanted him to just keep trying to get the gig by writing better and better songs, and we just kind of dangled the carrot out in front of him as long as we could. I don't think he knew he had the gig till we were actually on the plane going to Jersey to make the record. And he's such a cool, laid-back guy and easy to work with that making the record was just a blast. No egos, no tension, just making making each song as good as we possibly could. So I can't wait to make multiple records with the same singer for a change.
Awesome, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's a breath of fresh air for you guys for sure.
Absolutely.
And why don't we talk about the upcoming plans for you guys? Obviously, right now having a very successful tour. The next 4 or 5 shows are sold out, which is a great feeling, I'm sure. And what's
Right.
coming up after that?
You know, we're really just getting rolling with the tour with us and Flyleaf. We still got another 5 weeks to go on that. Then we do the UK and Europe. That's another 3 weeks or so. Then we have a Moscow date. We've never been to Russia before, so we're pretty excited, but kind of nervous too. Going all the way out there, I don't know what to expect, but hopefully that'll be cool. Then we have some USO shows where we're playing like American military bases over in Europe, and then we'll come back to the US by the summer. And then we've got a lot of the big summer festivals. We're fortunate enough to be on a lot of those, like Summerfest and Rock Fest and anything with a fest, or any of these huge radio shows. They're always such a great time. Not only are the crowds awesome, you get to play in front of thousands and thousands of people, but there are so many bands on the bill that you get to discover great new bands, and you get to see some of your favorite bands, and it's like band summer camp backstage. It's there's no better way to spend the summer than on shows like that.
Man, what kept you guys going, especially when you faced the tragedy of Dave? I'm sure you guys were kind of like against the wall. What kept you guys focused and going and kind of progressing? Because that would have killed any band, I think,
Yeah, we had already worked so hard, and it wasn't just the time that the 4 of us had spent together just writing songs and working on songs and trying to get a record deal. There was a lot of time in there, downtime, where we just would hang out and sit around and talk about living the dream and having a record deal and touring and all that. It was just the love for all of us. So when Dave passed, I guess we all, the 3 of us, could have gone our separate ways, but it just felt like it was just giving up and letting those memories and all that just disappear. And I guess we just weren't ready to do that. We just wanted to kind of keep the good times going for Dave's sake. And it hasn't, it's been hard a lot of years. There's been a lot of ups and downs. But from where we are now, looking back, I'm certainly glad that we did stay together and keep it going.
Hey man, how important was Pantera for you guys? Because I know they were one of the first bands to kind of say, hey, you guys got to check Drowning Pool out, especially Dime was a huge fan of the band. So let's talk about the role of Pantera and kind of, being the big brothers, of course,
Right.
them being from the same area from where you guys are from.
Yeah, all of us were always really, really close with Dime. Anybody that knows him, ever met him, knows he's like the one-of-a-kind, life of the party, just so much fun to be around. So of course everyone always wanted to be around him. And we were fortunate enough to be some of those guys that got to be in his inner circle and hang out, not only at his shows but at home in Dallas and at their place, the Clubhouse, and things like that. And Dime and Dave especially were really, really tight. They spent a lot of time hanging out doing just the wackiest, craziest shit together. They were like the toxic twin, nothing but trouble, but you couldn't help but laugh kind of thing. And it was really a lot of encouragement, from Dime after Dave passed to keep the whole thing going. After, Dave passed and we all came back to Dallas, kind of not knowing what to do with ourselves. So we really just, not knowing what to do. We just spent a lot of time over at Dimes or at the Clubhouse, hanging out, just getting hammered, just talking music. And, that he was really, really a big part of us, just wanting to stay in it and keep up the good fight and keep making music and, not let, Dave's memory, disappear. And, and it's ironic, the tragedy with Dime, the unbelievable tragedy. I think I think that probably inspires Vinny a lot now, you know, to kind of keep the dime spirit. You know, he named his band Hell Yeah, which is, you know, something you hear Dime scream, you know, 100 times in a night. So I'm sure, you know, it's all big circle of support, I guess you'd say, man. We wouldn't have got through those times if it wasn't for Dime.
Where's Dave? Dave, God damn it, get up here! And Tim, where the hell? There he is!
He was always on stage, 24/7 in life. He was just that animated. And if there was a stage to get on, an actual stage, he would get up there and jam with anybody.
We're just gonna fuck off and play some goddamn fucking songs that I think you guys remember and love.
Anytime hanging out with Pantera, that's a story. I met the Pantera guys probably about 10 years ago, and just, you know, always, we're from the same place, so they would always see me.
I'm rolling through photos and shit. I'm going, God damn. Every fucking photo, like 40 photo sessions of 40 years, dude. He's in the corner or he's on the front or he's, I'm like, dude, this motherfucker was not gonna let up, man, you know?
Just kind of grew into, you know, Dave, okay, you know, and that whole thing developed.
We're on fire and we're trying to find something to do. We're in Dallas, man. And Rita said, hey, man, Dave, that guy's playing up the street tonight. Let's go down there and go check him out.
Vinny and Dime and Rex, like, just commandeered everybody's instruments and just jumped on stage, and Dave was up there singing Pantera songs with them.
He goes, man, I want to jam. Let's jam. Let's go, man. I know every fucking Pantera song. I was like, man, you know New Level, you know Wall, what? And he said, I know it all, dude.
Because we always did dumb shit, and Dave was that kind of dude, and he always did, you know, it was like, if you do it, I'll do it. He jumped off of Vinnie Paul's roof one time to jump in the pool. From his 2-story house, he would jump in the fucking pool, you know. And Vinnie Paul came out there with a spatula and was yelling at him and pointing the spatula at him and, you motherfuckers, and just he was all mad.
The most driven motherfucker I've ever met in my whole entire life.